I want to go to Japan and go to like Hiroshima or Nagasaki and really rub it in a little bit. You know, I want to go to that arc, that like the archway or whatever that's like survived the bombing, and like pose in front of it flexing with like a USA shirt or something, like like go to some of their like more respected like temples and shit and like give them the bird or something, like with a shirt that says never forget. I
still harboring a grudge, huh?
Oh, let this be a reminder. Yeah.
How could we look? First of all, I don't know how you just let that shit go. All right, and second of all, like they killed like 180 whales last week. The Japanese are not our friends. They're just sneakier than most.
I don't care about the whales much at all because it just doesn't enter my line of thinking. Like I'd prefer the whales not be killed.
Like it was Unit 731. That was the Japanese group that was doing that horrible shit, and they would do stuff like freeze people. They freeze you for like an hour and bring you back, and all right, let's see if we can repair him. We can. Now we know how to repair someone who's been like frozen for an hour. Perfect. Well, let's freeze him for 2 hours. Let's get him in here. He says, all right, let's see if we can patch him up. And they would just repeat that process on different prisoners, learning different techniques to help people who had been frozen for different varying amounts of time, exposing them to yellow fever and malaria, and just doing horrible, horrible things to them, and then trying to repair it on human subjects that were prisoners of war and should have been protected. I don't think we were doing that to their guys, right? Like not that they surrendered that we know of, like, but it comes out, right? Like it came out the other day that we killed a lot of the Americans killed a lot of the guards at one of the concentration camps, like machine gun like 100 guards down. We do bad shit. Right? Right?
Oh, the guards in the concentration camp? They were just heartlessly mowed down? Oh, my God, that imperialist American. Like, no, good. If there's a group that deserves, like, you know how they'll say, like they have interviews with German soldiers, Nazis, who were just kind of in the regular group, not the SS or anything, who, I honestly do believe they didn't know about any of that shit going on. Like they were never in those positions. They were out invading. They weren't fighting a defensive war. But like the SS and guards in a tower, fuck them. Like
I
that's
agree.
Ridiculous.
The excuse was really transparent too. The guard was like, they tried to run, and it's like, wait, 131, and you got all 131 of them or whatever it was.
Really good marksmanship.
Wow, you're amazing, man. What are you, Rambo? Like, no, they put them up against a wall, and also what they would do with the free Jews, they would arm them. They'd like give their sidearms, their pistols over to these free Jews and be like, maybe a few Nazis die tonight. Maybe not.
Oh, I like that.
I like that. Yeah, it's just kind of like tearing in the tables a little bit. What? Water under the bridge.
Right? But those whales, on the other hand, I feel deeply for those whales. All right, like I have this. The more intelligent an animal is, the more I care about it. That's why I don't. So those whales and the dolphins and stuff like that, those marine mammals that have brains bigger than us, and the elephants and stuff like that. I really don't like it when they're just, killed like that under the guise of scientific research. It's like, what are they finding inside of a whale that needs to be researched at this point, right?
I thought
like,
they did it for food. Didn't they?
I thought it was.
They can't do it for food. They lie, and they're allotted a certain number per year for scientific research. So they're just out there, scientific research, pow, and like, all right, this will feed many people. Research done. They're just selling.
I don't like the killing of the whales, but I don't think about it too much because it makes you sad when smart animals get killed. Because I do discriminate against animals. Like if a squirrel dies, I can't even be bothered to care. That thing didn't even know it was alive, more than likely. Like it didn't have self-awareness. Like if you put a mirror in front of that thing, it's like, what? Oh.
No, that's a whole thing. Like women, like girlfriend industries is what I call it. Like when we're in, 50 years from now, when we're in like luxury gay space communism and we've all got a harem of robots to fuck, like, and women aren't around when we finally canceled women, like none of these industries are going to exist. Like there won't be. I had to do this fucking yesterday with my girlfriend. A good sign of a girlfriend industry is you have to wake up early hungover for no reason. Yeah. To go do this. She's like, we should go to a pumpkin patch. And I was like, oh, okay.
You know what?
I guess we can go to a fucking pumpkin patch. We had to drive. I live in St. Louis City, and so we had to drive like almost an hour. But at least it was like a nice scenic drive. No, it wasn't. It was through East St. Louis.
Yeah.
And it looks like a paintball course. the whole way. It's disgusting and terrible, and you don't want to hang out there. We get to this pumpkin patch, and the whole way we're passing Walmarts with $2 pumpkins outside. Yeah. They're not marking these up. This is the one time of year you can get pumpkins anywhere cheap. No, we got to drive fucking 50 minutes out there. And the first thing I noticed is every group of people has either a girlfriend in it or a child that's 3 years or younger.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, no one else cares. There were 4-year-old boys looking around getting bored as shit.
Cunt.
I think. All right. Painkiller already, episode 354.
That's another thing I don't like about the Japanese. Like, they haven't figured out the knife and fork and spoon yet. They're still over there with those 2 goddamn sticks.
I mean, honestly, the way I feel with like the Japanese and the Chinese with their chopstick nonsense is that they were right on the cusp of being like, all right, clearly forks have won this battle, this duel, that's better. And then we made fun of them so much that they're like, no, it is not because yours are better, we don't want it. It is culture, or like that kind of thing. And so they've doubled down on chopstick usage almost out of not wanting to admit that our solution's clearly better. Why would you not want a shovel-like implement to shovel food into your fat Western mouth?
And they have shovels. They have shovels. If they were out in the field with 2 pool cues digging around, you'd be like, I guess they haven't figured it out yet. That's not the fucking case. They got shovels and pitchforks.
Hideki, help me get this rock with a stick.
Like most of those millions of people that they massacred when they went across China, they did with shovels and bayonets because they didn't want to waste bullets. They're no stranger to the shovel or the knife. I don't know what their problem is.
They killed maybe a shovel. Like, what weapon did the Chinese people have? Like,
none.
Trowels?
They were a step behind on the civilization tree at that point. So, like, and they were just going through cities, and China had the big military, and they needed the rubber and the oil and everything, and they came in there with machine guns and stuff, and just raped and pillaged and murdered and killed millions and millions of Chinese.
Now because it's called the Rape of Nanking, it's hard to underscore how horrible it was. But I had been underestimating how bad the Rape of Nanking was when I watched this thing, and they're like, the Japanese indiscriminately slaughtered the Chinese of Nanking for the next 7 weeks. And I'm like, 7 weeks? They just hung out and murdered people, and just hundreds of thousands, just
bayoneted babies,
bayonet, like just ruthless shit.
Taylor and Kyle are such pussies when it comes to animal fights. I'm a farm veterinarian, and I have wrestled a few agitated 500-kilogram adult cows to the ground with just my hands and restrained it. I'm 6'4", 125 kilograms. Having hands and arms is such a fucking huge deal, capital letters. You can just crank its neck and back around on itself, shove it upwards, and they fall over. Obviously, there's a limit. If a 700-kilogram bull with a thick, strong neck, then you're going to have no chance. But yeah, they're afraid of an ostrich or a swan? Give me a break. I'll protect them.
That guy's a dummy.
I want to see this guy in the ring with an ostrich, and I want to be there close enough so I can see in the 2 seconds that he has alive after his heart's been torn out, as his blood pressure drops to 0. I want the last thing he sees to be my eyes going, fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. What did you think was going to happen?
Is an ostrich neck really strong enough to overpower our arms?
Talons.
No, of course it's not. You will not be able to grab it. It's like a raptor. They have these long, sharp claws, and they lean back and fucking hook at you with a lot of reach, and they go for your guts.
Peck at you?
The neck is like a snake. It just moves back. It has these big long claws that comes at you. It's very intimidating. Now,
where are the claws? They're on the
forward at you like a front kick. That's a slashing front kick. That's how they fight. It's got a thumb-sized claw, like as big as my thumb and sharp. Now he's talking about livestock. Now, the first clue that you, sir, are a pussy is that you measured the livestock in kilograms. Okay, all right, pussy. That's how you immediately.
Hey, man, sometimes that's just the way you have to measure your cows.
Of course you can. It's a domesticated animal. I've done that same move. You put them in a little bit of a headlock and twist their head. Watch any rodeo, and they just fall. You can overpower that animal really quickly. We're not talking about that kind of animal. We're talking about wild animals. We're talking about in heat coming at you like with rapid fire. Front legs. We're talking about alligators and sharks and stuff. Like,
wait, you named a lot of people, but you left out one. You left out one major group.
Yeah,
it's also weird to just say Asian. Like, Asian is so many different, kinds of people. It's billions of them.
Taylor, the yellows.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Because as we all know, the brown Asians aren't doing so hot most of the time. They have a real street. I refer to it as the street shitting problem that they seem to have.
That's a tactful way to go about it. Yeah.
Yes. The street shitters. Look, I'm just guessing. Maybe Tucker could chime in, but I guarantee there's probably not a lot of street shitting in Japan.
It is the cleanest city I've ever been in.
That's how you can see like the opposite end of the spectrum for Asian people. Over here, you got the Japanese. Their toilet warms itself, washes your ass for you, and talks to you. It's got
and it dries your ass.
Right?
Wow.
It does everything. Their toilets have Bluetooth capabilities. On the other end, you have the Indians. And they've got a hole in the ground if they're upper class. Everybody else is just shitting in the street, shitting in the beach, just shit everywhere. And that
They
diet
wipe their
of
butts with their hands. You can't leave that out.
wipe
toilet
with
paper.
your hand. Absolutely. And then they lick it.
Wait,
that's true.
That's been disputed. I'm going to Snopes that.
20.
Well, I think that's a wrap, boys.
20.